The only advice I'll always say, from music-wise, it's, repetition. Keep repeating and practicing. That's what's gonna make you better.
Yeah.
Because if it's gonna feel boring while you're doing that, but then when you get out there and do it in front of people, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, now that's why. You know what I mean?
Welcome to another exciting episode of Style Speaks. I'm your host, Mo Adams, and we're here at the Edit London in Harvey Nichols, Riyadh. Today, we're diving into the world of beats and threads with none other than DJ Charolin. So get ready for an insightful look into music and style. With that being said, welcome to the show, Charolin.
What up?
What's going on, brother?
I'm good, man.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man.
How's things?
Alhamdulillah, how about yourself?
Good. Absolutely good, bro.
See you with that Dr. Dre Chronic.
I had to represent, it's a music episode, so I thought, why not?
Appreciate you, man.
But bro, the impact that you're having on the music scene here in Riyadh is incredible. So
appreciate
I thought having you on was a must.
Thank
the
you,
path
thank
you've
you,
taken,
thank
the
you.
success you've had, it's
Alhamdulillah.
it's a credit to you, bro.
Alhamdulillah.
So I want to kind of, start by delving into the start of your journey. What kind of influenced you to start build the persona of DJ Shaolin?
What influenced me to be a DJ is that I didn't want to wake up and have a 9 to 5 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And again, DJing is also it's not a 9 to 5, but it's more independent. And I've always wanted to be independent, And there was always a way in music, and I figured my way out in music was in DJing. So that's what pushed me into DJing, and I really got into it at a very fast pace. And it was the time I was living in China.
Yeah.
So I was in and out, in and out between here and China. So at the time I was seeking education, but some things don't quite work out your way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. But alhamdulillah, you do pick up other things.
Definitely.
And it was DJing. I started off as that, and now I got into other aspects of music too, which is production and more other things. And getting back, Shaolin, I need a cool Chinese name, you know what I mean?
That's perfect, yeah.
So yeah, in my childhood, I'm sure everybody knows this movie, the Shaolin Soccer.
Of course.
Yeah, so for me the name Shaolin was always cool. Yeah, of course, growing up in Riyadh, Saudi, our thing is soccer,
Cool.
Football.
We're not in the States. But I was gonna say that there's a cool crossover, with music and fashion. Obviously with sports and fashion, it's the same thing. But how would you say your music influences your style and vice versa?
Well, coming from a very strong hip hop background, it was most of the music I heard. Even though I'm an Arab, but I grew up mostly around my uncles at a very young age, and they were at the university time at the time.
Yep.
So they would used to listen to a lot of hip hop, some reggae, of course, Bob Marley. It was more hip hop. And it was the style, the style of clothes, at the time of hip hop around late 90s, 2000s. That's when I was introduced to it. It's the fashion really went with it, the baggy stuff. It's a little some of what I'm wearing right now. The Air Force Ones.
Air Force Ones. You've just got the cool hip hop look, down to a T right now.
Yes.
But I was gonna say, there's been, how do you stay authentic in an industry? In terms of music and fashion, when there's constant new trends going on?
Well, it's the identity you pick that makes you, you know what I mean? And this is the identity I picked, and this is what I've been representing, you know what I mean? Mostly hip hop,
right.
But when it comes to DJing, I do all aspects of DJing. From talking about genres of music, mixing wise. Mixing wise when it comes to skills and whatever comes with it too. So I'm mainly focused on hip hop because that's the genre. That's my genre. Yeah. So that's how it influences my style. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to talk about you obviously living in Saudi and then in China. What do you make of the kind of the evolving perspective that fashion is having in music, in both those regions? Very different regions, of course. We're talking China, we're talking Saudi, but what do you make of the kind of the evolvement on fashion within the industry?
Well, as you know, there's a lot of stuff made in China, right?
Of course, everything from there, bro.
Yes, even not the authentic ones, you know? So with that being said, you gotta know that the Chinese are really up to fashion, they're not just manufacturing it a first class copy, and stuff like that. No, it's really transcending into them with, when you walk down the street in China,
it's a different ballgame.
It's like when you're standing in the traffic light, when you want to cross like the pedestrian line, you would see like 100 people standing next to you, and each one is wearing something different. You know, from like very K-pop to hip hop, formal, very, you know, like very local. You know what I mean? It's a t-shirt and jeans, but like you would say, oh, that's how a local person is wearing. Oh, this is very hip hop. This is pop. You know?
Yeah.
But like it's really they're really out there with fashion. It wasn't as much here in Saudi, but like now I see it's like you see a variety of everything.
I was gonna say, bro, even like when I was in uni in the States, it didn't matter if it was an 8 a.m. lecture or anything, bro. These Asian students had the fit down to
of course.
Drip, bro,
yes.
The goose park, like everything. It's mad.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say, fashion can be like a bridge between cultures, right? Is there like a specific, you know, story or experience that you've had where the fit that you chose kind of set like a cultural statement, or maybe sparked like an interesting conversation, whether it's how you dress now here in Saudi, or it's when you first went over to China, or anything like that?
Well, I really didn't care much about what I wore at a point, you know, and then I got hired at a club, and at the time it was the best hip hop club in China, and like owning that in China in a very big country, which is almost like a continent, was very difficult. So at the time I was just like wearing, you know, didn't really care. Like I would really care much about what I'm wearing when I'm going out. So like yeah, to a lot of people, going to the club is going out, but for me it's a job. I'm going to do my job. You know what I mean?
Still feels like that?
At the moment, yes, it still does. It still does. Of course, it still does. You know, it still does. But it's like it's the hype that you get. You know what I mean? So at the time, like I remember when the manager called me, he's like, "Yo, man, you know, I need you to step your style up a little bit, you know," and that kind of, I don't know, it hit my ego. And whenever anything hits my ego, I just like, I like, you know, I'll show you, you know what I mean? And then from becoming like, I'll show you, it becomes a thing, you know what I mean? And then ever since
no, you're a fashionable guy, man, honestly. But you've had the opportunity to kind of observe Saudi fashion up close. You know, a lot of our friends are designers, brand owners, etc.
Yes.
What do you make of, it's incredible. So what do you make of the kind of evolvement of Saudi fashion in the past 5-6 years?
It's incredible. It's incredible. I love it. I love it. From all the brands, you know, from even like a lot of my friends owns brands, you know what I mean? For shout out to Mobajaba.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Budi, Bucket Box, you know, and the rest, everybody else who's doing it too. They just like every year they just getting like they're really like wow, you know what I mean? And shout out to Galag. Galag for me is my personal. Sultan is my personal favorite because he really cares about the detail. You know, and people say he's pricey and all that, but believe me, when you go and see,
you pay for what it's worth.
You're paying for what it's worth, you know, and he really cares about the detail. And for me, it's the detail too, you know. So, like the little zippers he has, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, wow, this guy really is representing the brand. You know what I mean?
It's so nice to be different.
Yes, also, yes. Like you see it, you're like, that's Gaelic. You know what I mean?
Love it, bro. Let's head this way and explore.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
So Charolin, it seems that your, you know, on-stage presence is as much about your style as it is about your music. So how do you go about creating the perfect fit for a gig?
I started doing that by getting a personal stylist.
Yes.
That makes life easier. Shout out to AB.
AB,
you know?
yes, we got AB on the show, man.
You know, yeah. Shout out to the homie, man. Shout out big time. Because he pretty much knows. He's a homie, brother. You know what I mean? So he knows my personality very well. So I'm like, yo, I tell him how I feel, and he'll be like, all right. And then he got his pieces. You know what I mean? He either picks it from his personal from his personal wardrobe, or picks it up from Urban Lot. Shout out to Urban Lot, you know. Shout out to Kamal. Always hooks it up for a show anytime, you know. And AB just brings a bunch of pieces and be like, you know, and he starts like putting pieces together. I'll be like, okay, like I want to do this, and it's always for me. It has to stand out, the look, you know what I mean? Because it's like with the performance too, like with a killer performance, a killer outfit, you know what I mean? Just tops it off too.
Tops it off, bro.
Yes, sir.
And how long does that process take of you, I guess, pre-planning for an event? Is it something that kind of happens just before when you get the details of the show or whatever it may be, or is it something that you kind of always have in mind? Well,
it depends. Sometimes I get like, you know, these sudden bookings and like, yo, they hit me up like Sunday, like, yo, you have something with, for example, Post Malone. The Post Malone one, I knew 5 days before that. So they're like a Post Malone show, and then I'm like, okay, Post Malone, you know, he's hip hop, but he's a rock star too. So that night was the only night I didn't really look like a hip hop. I wore like a leather vest, you know what I mean, very tight one, some black jeans and black boots, you know, went out like a rock star. Because sometimes because rappers do want to party like rock stars. You know what I mean?
Course.
Since I'm associated with rappers and all, you know, so, yeah. Yeah, that was the night like I went out like a rock star.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, the outfit really matters. You know what I mean? It really shows a lot of personality.
Definitely.
I feel like.
Is there any artists that you look at like for inspiration at all? You think?
I used to, not anymore, because fashion nowadays is not.
Now,
No, it's not. It's like I would still resemble to back in the day to Dipset. Joel Santana to be exact. You know what I mean? The oversized stuff is the colors.
You still got that going on, man.
Yeah, exactly. a little bit. You
I love it. Have you ever thought about collaborating with fashion designers or brands to create custom pieces for your performances?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've always thought about it, but I never had the chance. But I'm like, you know, like let me do it when I really feel like I deserve it, and that's after I start putting my music out, which is very soon. Yeah, after I'll see. Like after I'll see like how's the music gonna do, and inshallah, like I have strong belief in it. Yeah. Inshallah, when it start hitting, that's when that's when I'm gonna start collaborating and doing.
I got a question for you.
Tell me, sir.
You know, if you had the opportunity to perform anywhere in the world, dressed by your favorite designer, where would that performance take place, and what you rocking?
Oh,
I don't mean to put you on the spot like that, you know.
Like since I haven't done Coachella, you know, since it's like it's like the mother of festivals. You know what I mean? Yeah. So definitely Coachella, and I'll definitely look like something like Joel Santana would wear back in 2003 or 2004. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So definitely. Let's kind of look towards the future. What's next for DJ Charolin? I know you obviously mentioned, you know, album coming out and stuff like that, but are there any collaborations or partnerships in any way that you're excited about?
Yes, it's the collaborations I'm gonna do with the artists that I'm gonna have featured on the album. I can't say any names yet.
Yeah. Not even for us.
Off the camera, I'll tell you later for sure. But yeah, so that's the next big thing for me. I feel like that's like. It's because I've been wanting to do it, but I've always waited for the chance to perfect it, and I did that because I took production classes, and then like right after the production class, I've been practicing, and shout out to all my producer homies, you know, from Entitled to Majid to Fizzy and all these guys.
The guys are killing it, man.
They made it really easy for me. Yeah. So I'm cooking at the moment. You know,
it's good, man. I mean? It's good to see, bro. It's good to see. Thank you. And for people, you know, who look at you, you know, as an inspiration and would like some advice in music, in fashion, or wherever it may be, what advice would you give them?
It's the only advice I'll always say. You know, from music-wise, it's you know, repetition. Keep repeating and practicing. That's what's gonna make you better. Because like, if it's gonna feel boring while you're doing that, but then when you get out there and do it in front of people, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, now that's why. You know what I mean? And for fashion, follow. Like as my personal advice, follow who you see like resembles your style, and from there, don't copy them, but you know, start improvising from there and see how your style fits to you.
With that, let's get in some styling.
Let's go, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's hit it.
So Charolin, for the final part of the show, guys should know the drill by now. It's a styling segment. So I was kind of wondering what task I should give you. So I figured, you know, dress me based on your music style. If I was to pull up to a DJ Charolin concert, how would you expect me to look? You know what I'm saying? Yeah? So with that, let's get into it, man. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's hit it.
So Charolin, fit secured, man. Talk to me about your picks.
Well, you can't go wrong with the camel shorts. And shorts, man, you got to be comfortable. Yeah. You know, I did most of my shows wearing shorts, even in winter too. You know, like cold winter, and you got to top it off with a white tee. You know, can't go wrong with a white tee and a Bentley.
Essential. And
the vest. You got to keep the vest on top. Gives you a character.
No swag.
And you gotta, last but not least, the midnight navies, you know?
Perfect,
so here you go, sir.
I'll give us a go and see how it turns out.
Let's see how we're gonna be. Oh yeah, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Yes,
what are you saying?
Oh yes sir.
Cold.
Hold up.
It's fit, bro.
Just unzip this.
Yeah, final touches. Yeah,
so that's it. Your feet, fit your pockets in there. Fit your pockets in there. See?
I'm ready, man. Yeah. What are we saying, Coachella?
Yes, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Listen, the fit is cold, but guys, I have to let out a secret. We don't be mixing brands over here, you know? So for that reason,
I'll let you slide for this one. I'll let you slide for this.
For that reason, I'm gonna give him a 9. But guys, let me know down below what you guys think. Guys, and that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Charlin, I appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Appreciate you, man,
Any
for
final
having
words?
me. Stay tapped in for the new releases. Not gonna say when, but stay tapped in.
That's it. Peace. We had an amazing time exploring the fascinating world of fashion and can't wait to bring you more exciting content in the future episodes. Don't forget to tune in next time for more insightful interviews, exclusive insights, and all the latest news from the world of fashion. Thank you for joining us on Style Speaks, where fashion truly speaks for itself.